Welcome back to another episode of Off Point Cooking. I'm Marlon White, and usually I like to mix things up, but today we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to tell you how I lost 33 kilograms in the last 6 months. So I'm not saying this process was easy. It took a lot of discipline, and there were many setbacks along the way, but I made it happen, and I want to tell you my story. So before I tell you how I lost weight, I want to tell you how I ended up gaining the weight in the first place. I've actually been on keto for years. So when I first went on it, it worked really well. I lost a lot of weight, but eventually I hit a plateau and I stopped losing weight. In fact, I started doing the reverse and I started gaining weight. Eventually I got frustrated. I fell off the wagon and I completely stopped doing keto. I started eating junk food. It got to the point I was stuck in a vicious cycle. I'll gain a bunch of weight and then I'll go on keto, lose a bit of weight, and then I'll immediately put it back on. So what I came to realize this year is that even though keto is a fat-burning diet, it's not magic. You cannot just simply overeat. You still need to be in a calorie deficit that I was taking for granted all these years. So to get back on track, I took my diet and stripped it down to its basics. So I cut my meals down to 2 meals a day. My first meal would usually be around 1 p.m, usually just eggs and avocado. Then I'll have my second meal around 6 p.m. That would usually be a protein source, eggs and vegetables, followed by Greek yogurt with a handful of almond nuts. So this time around, there was no complicated recipes with just clean eating, which is kind of ironic from the guy that likes to mix things up. So the second major change that I made was cutting out snacks. So this was a really hard one. It was actually a big game changer for me. I realized if you're eating properly, you don't need to snack. If you're feeling hungry, just have some water, have some tea, have some coffee. Or even take the meals that you're having and slightly increase them so that it fills you up. Before, I was snacking on a lot of different nuts, almond nuts, Brazil nuts, peanuts, and I realized that I was exceeding my calories every day by just eating all these nuts and eating all of these keto snacks, and it was adding to my calories. Although the keto diet burns fat, you have to realize it's not magic. You can't just eat what you want. But just by doing these 2 steps, I was able to lose over 10 kilograms. This next step is a massive game changer. I introduced intermittent fasting. For uncertain days, I'll fast for over 24 hours. And my body responded really well because it was using its fat stored. I was learning how to use fat as an energy source all over again. Eventually, I started doing a 36-hour fast every Friday, where I would fast overnight. My body also responded to this really well. I introduced fasting into my diet. My body started to lose over 1 kilogram a week. The next thing that played a major role in my weight loss is the gym and resistance training. From the beginning of my diet, I was going to the gym 2 to 3 times a week, doing cardio and doing weightlifting. Now I go to the gym 4 to 5 times a week, and it's become a major part of my life. And it's also kept me motivated to stay on my diet and keep the disciplines that I learned over the last few months. Another thing that helped me on this weight loss journey is tracking my progress. So I have a smart scale upstairs where I would weigh myself every morning to track how I'm progressing along. It helps me to monitor any fluctuations in weight, if something I've added to my diet is not working, or if I need to add in a bit of cardio, if I need to add in a bit of rest time, or if I need to modify my diet. It helped me to really keep up to date and monitor how I'm progressing on this journey. The final step is patience, which is probably the hardest part. You have to remember it took you time and consistency to gain the weight that you put on. It's going to take time and consistency for you to lose the weight in reverse. Obviously, the process of losing weight is a much harder process than gaining the weight, and it takes a lot more effort. But you have to remember, you have to be patient. It's not going to happen overnight. There's going to be ups and downs. Your weight's going to fluctuate up, it's going to fluctuate down. You have to just remember, as long as you're staying consistent and you're sticking to your diet, whatever it is, whether it's keto or any other calorie deficit diet, you just remember, just trust the process and keep going. So if you found this video helpful, make sure you like the video, comment and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you all the best in whatever journey you're taking in life. Bye.